I'm for more parties. I'm straight up, man. I'm for more parties. I'm not hedging. I'm for more parties. I'm for the Green Party. I'm for the Progressive Independent Party. I'm for the Draft Bernie Party.
Agreed.
And I just think we need more choices, man. So
we do need more choices, but for that you have to decapitate the parties. Like, you have to get to the point where enough progressives leave. And I make this argument before. This is the best opportunity, like whether they realize it or not. When Trump got elected, my first thought was, holy shit. That was my first thought. I think for the first 2 days it was, holy shit.
This is real? This really happened? What
this
the
really
hell?
Just happened. Right. This really just happened. Now, I voted for Jill Stein because I couldn't get over this idea that they're going to cheat somebody and then turn around and give the moral hazard of co-signing it, putting my vote on it. But there was still this feeling of, holy shit, Trump just got elected. After that, though, I started to think to myself, never let a good crisis go to waste. Never let a good crisis go to waste. You have all these people out here freaking out, marching, setting stuff on fire, punching people in the face. These people full well believe that the country fell off a cliff when Trump got elected, as opposed to being just a continuation of the prior president. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, Obama was more elegant, but the things that he was doing was pretty similar to what Trump is doing. Like, it's not that vast disparity that these people think. Use those people in that way. Like, use their fears and use the fact that they're freaking out and everything else to start a party. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have somebody who's the epitome of everything that you point out as a leftist that's wrong with our society in that office. That's the thing that you need to harness. Like, that's the thing where I keep making this point of, we need to form up. We need to form a group. We need to form a group. We need to have summits. The question becomes, how do you get past the parties to allow you to do that? That's the question. Because ultimately, the parties are going to do their best to prevent anybody else from getting into that election process. That's the question. Now, here's a question. Is it possible to use antitrust lawsuits? Like, what is the position you need to be in to use an antitrust lawsuit? Meaning, hey, these parties are two corporations, and these parties are essentially forming a monopoly over the political process, and we need to break them up.
Wow.
Who can do it? I don't know who can do it.
Wow. Well, we got a lawsuit right now, brother. We got the DNC fraud lawsuit, right?
There's one already. We just need to add another one. Antitrust litigation. I mean, granted, you need to be in a position to use it, but those parties are two corporations. That's all they are. It's like if you had it's almost like if you had a job thing and you said, all right, the person who wins this is going to drive my bus, whatever that bus is. So this guy wins. Bob wins. Bob is the bus driver. Well, there's a difference between the bus, the political apparatus, the thing that we consider this conceptual thing that we call government, and the person who's leading that government or who's running that political apparatus or who's driving that bus. In this particular case, it's like, yes, we need other people that have the capacity to drive that bus. And the parties themselves, because they're corporations, are forming this monopoly of sorts, preventing anybody else from getting involved in that process, using arbitrary standards of 15%, excluding people from the debate stage, those type of things, using techniques literally to keep people away from starting another party. If that needs to be attacked, if it's one of those things of we need to start another third party or something like that, you need to go through that process. You need to find a way to break up that monopoly. Antitrust law is the closest thing I can think of being able to do it.
Makes sense, brother. And if this DNC fraud lawsuit goes through, or even if it doesn't, that may cement the idea that, yeah, maybe it's time to break them up. I mean, they are a corporation. That's what they're pretty much the defense is. We're a private association. We can do whatever we want to do. Well,
and they are.
Maybe that'll provide us a little bit of wiggle room. I don't know, to be able to.
Now, what do you think about this DNC lawsuit case? I think this case, for the most part, is immensely important. And it's funny to me that it's not being covered to the degree that I think it should be covered. Now, mind you, all of us are in our own reality of sorts. All of us have made this all of us are in this progressive sandbox, our own little thing. We're bumping around with each other. But you would think that a lawsuit that's alleging that one of the parties literally cheated one of their candidates and subverted democracy, which you can make a strong argument that ended up with Trump in that White House, you would think that would take more press. You think that would get more attention.
Absolutely. You would at least think that all progressive or all independent media would be talking about it, regardless to which way they leaned. I know the conservative folks are talking about it, like Paul Joseph Watson's, Mark Dice, all those guys. But there are a lot of independent, left-leaning folks who aren't talking about it, really.
Wow,
And
that's
that's
amazing.
what the whole fallout with TYT was about. That we did criticize their lack of coverage on the DNC fraud lawsuit. Then I brought Jared Beck, the lead attorney, with Elizabeth back on my show to talk about it. And yeah, that was what it was all about. I don't know why people. Yeah. I guess people don't, were a little distracted. They didn't know, but that's where it came from because they didn't want the criticism.
I don't think they saw the root of it. Like I think they just saw the drama of it all.
Yeah.
No, but I remember the video. I know the video you're talking about, where they were talking about the DNC suit and they were being somewhat dismissive.
Donations. The most horrible statement.
That's it. Donations are donations.
That's it, brother.
Like,
God.
No, donations are donations.
That guy still has a job, yo. Like, that guy who said that still has a job on a progressive, independent, like that. Dude, I'm done, son. He still has credibility. Get the fuck out of here.
That is an amazing statement. That really is.